This sage advice was uttered each and every time to my three sons, Daniel, Noah, and Seth, during their formative years by my wife, Gail, as they stepped out the door to venture out on their own. As their parents, Gail and I had hoped that we had prepared them well according to their age and developmental stage in life, to make the right decisions at the right time according to the demands and requirements of the moment. For us, the good choice equated with the right choice. We had consciously always tried to teach and instill in them an ability to evaluate the environment in which they found themselves, to consider their safety and well-being as well as that of others, friends, family, and community. It is not easy for anyone to consistently make good or right choices. What does it really mean to do so? What are the principles upon which one depends to be able to decide the choices that must be made? This is as true for an individual as it is for a family, a community, a country, or an organization such as ours, the College of Family Physicians of Canada. Cet après-midi, en tant que nouveau président, je compte écrire devant vous la façon dont j'examine les choix et les décisions à prendre en appliquant un des grands principes qui guident mon attitude face à la vie en général et qui guidera mon attitude face au leadership de CMFC au cours de la prochaine année. Il s'agit du principe de la responsabilité sociale. This afternoon, I hope to share with you how I, as the incoming president of the CFPC, examine choices and decisions that must be made using one of the main principles that guide my approach to life and will guide my approach to the leadership this coming year of the CFPC. And that principle is one of social responsibility and accountability. I hope to expand upon my belief that the time is right for the CFPC as the voice of family medicine in Canada to highlight the importance of upholding the social contract between medicine and society by implementing an agenda of social responsibility and accountability through our numerous activities and programs. I will review how the CFPC has for quite some time made the choices that integrated this principle to meet our social contract. I hope to emphasize how our current and future initiatives in all areas in which we are involved, from undergraduate, postgraduate family medicine education, and continuing professional development, to health policy and professional affairs, how, in my opinion, all these must be examined through the lens of social accountability. Make good choices. Gail's phrase reverberates in my mind as I reflect upon the significant choices that I've made in my life that have led me to this day that in my most reflective moments I never ever imagined. Perhaps the best personal choice I made were the decisions to marry Gail, I guess the last time to say I do, and choosing and being fortunate to have three wonderful sons who are growing into magnificent and mature human beings, and of whom I am immensely proud. My other significant choices and decisions were to enter medicine and become a family physician, and devote myself to my profession and discipline since my graduation some 30 years ago through becoming involved with the college, initially through the Ontario College of Family Physicians right after my graduation, and in later years with National. My experience as a family physician and the contribution I know I can make to my patients and families has enriched my life beyond words, a feeling I know that is shared by many, if not all, the family physicians in this room today. But the other good and right choice for me was making a difference through the work of our college and its chapters, and in particular because through the college and its chapters one can find a way to contribute to the health and well-being of Canadians on a grander scale, a manifestation of our social responsibility where one can have impact in a systemic way. Meeting our social contract as physicians, and in particular as family physicians, is a way that I could personally fulfill my needs as a human being living in this incredible country to which I owe so much. Meeting our social obligations is consistent with our college's mission. Le respect de nos obligations sociales va de pair avec la mission de notre collège qui consiste à améliorer la santé des Canadiens et Canadiennes en établissant des normes éducatives élevées, en promouvant à la qualité de l'exercice de la médecine familiale, en contribuant à sensibiliser la population aux saines habitudes de vie, en appuyant l'accès immédiat aux services dispensés par le médecin de famille, en stimulant la recherche et en faisant connaître davantage la médecine familiale. Let me explain why working for family medicine in this College of Family Physicians of Canada does it for me. The concepts of social responsibility and accountability of medicine are not new. Since 1995, when the World Health Organization published the seminal paper on defining and measuring the social accountability of medical schools, several collective authorities, such as Health Canada, which developed a vision for Canadian medical schools on social accountability in 2001, the Association of Faculties of Medicine of Canada, AFMC, the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada, and others have all supported the necessity of incorporating this concept into medical training. As well, several authors, including Charles Boylan and Robert Woolard, professor of family medicine at UBC and a fellow of this college, and many others have published extensively on this topic. They have contributed to the literature that now demands that we educate socially responsible physicians. It is my proposition today that the time is right for the CFPC to make explicit how it has and will continue to incorporate and promote an agenda of social responsibility and accountability, not just within family medicine residency training, but throughout many of its initiatives. There are political, environmental, and natural events in life that are beyond our control, but there are many aspects of life that contribute to the state and well-being of our population that we can target, like the social determinants of health, poverty, gender and diversity inequities, educational cultural barriers, the inequity of access to health care of the vulnerable and marginalized, that we can do something about. By introducing issues of social justice into our medical education curricula, we increase our students and residents' social awareness. By incorporating knowledge and competency into our training, we assist our grads in learning something about resolving these issues, becoming socially responsible. The imperative now is to move from just being socially responsible to taking concerted action, becoming socially accountable. Pourquoi la médecine, et pour nous, la discipline de la médecine familiale, doit-elle être socialement responsable? Why should medicine, and for us the discipline of family medicine specifically, be socially accountable? Is there in fact a social contract between medicine and society? Amongst most physicians today, there's consensus that we have a moral responsibility that goes beyond fears of legal liability or expectations of reward, a responsibility that demands that we make decisions and take actions that have a foreseeable impact on our patients' health and well-being. A responsible physician is one who is competent and who fulfills accepted and recognized commitments. Physicians are held accountable for what they do, and for many of us too, in addition to patients we see individually, our responsibility extends to our neighborhoods, our communities, our regions, our provinces, and our country. To be human is to be social. Truly, we can only live the good life in community. Each of us as individual family physicians is part of a larger collective, and in our case, the College of Family Physicians of Canada is that collective. As part of this collective, we are thus able to contribute to the common good, the recognition that collective well-being is inseparable from the individual well-being. As an important player amongst Canadian healthcare organizations, the CFPC, as a collective voice of over 26,000 individual members from coast to coast to coast, we must fulfill our social responsibility and address issues of inequality and inequities as it pertains to health care, especially primary health care in Canada. To me, to act in a just and ethical way and do the right things for Canadians' health is at the core of what it means to me to be a family physician. The social dynamic, the relationship between the patient and the family physician is central to what we do and who we are. We know that effective and impactful health care is not possible without the trust that stems from this relationship. We also know from Barbara Starfield that primary care is the key to a population's health and well-being. As a collective, we must reach out and reinforce our trusting relationship between family medicine and society for the health of our population within our borders and beyond. The challenge is the implementation of this agenda. Let me share briefly how the CFPC and its members carry out its social responsibility to Canadians. N'oubliez pas, faites de bons choix. The CFPC has made choices that address issues of social justice. Our CanMeds FM framework for family medicine training includes the key role of family medicine health advocate and being, quote, responsible to societal needs, end quote. The new CCC competency-based curriculum for family medicine residency training also addresses accountability to society, social responsibility, and patient safety. Medicine social accountability also comes through loud and clear in the Future of Medical Education project, a work in progress in partnership with the Association of Faculties of Medicine of Canada, the Royal College, and the Collège des Médecins du Québec. Strengthening the role of family physicians will help meet the future health human resource needs of Canadians. Pan-Canadian strategies will assess and respond to societal needs, factoring in health disparities related to geography, aging, socioeconomics, and historical marginalization of vulnerable populations such as the urban and inner-city poor. As well, the draft recommendations note that research in family medicine and meeting the evolving needs of Canadians must be supported by providing state-of-the-art training for future academic physicians and clinician scientists, educators, and leaders. Good choices. But there are ongoing challenges in carrying out a social accountability agenda for family medicine. For example, even as we learn to better assess competency, we'll be able to know if our programs have created the desirable changes in clinical behavior, and more importantly, if those changes impacted the health and well-being of Canadians, especially the most vulnerable and neediest amongst us. As well, what we have to do in order to be socially accountable is to really understand the needs of Canadians, to understand these needs in their various circumstances, and define those needs in terms of desired long-term outcomes, which in turn will dictate the type of changes needed in our undergraduate, postgraduate, and continuing professional education of both a qualitative and quantitative nature. These parameters will then guide the development of programs to produce those outcomes. As many of you will recall, in September of this year on Parliament Hill, the CFPC released its long-anticipated vision for family practice in Canada, the Patient's Medical Home, that provides goals and recommendations for timely access to medical and healthcare services for all Canadians through their family practice settings. En adoptant des valeurs d'égalité, d'équité et d'accès aux soins de santé pour tous les Canadiens et Canadiennes, peu importe où ils vivent, le Centre de médecine de famille devient le carrefour central de la prestation des soins globaux et complets, centrés sur les besoins des patients, dispensés par leur propre médecin de famille qui travaille avec une équipe interdisciplinaire de professionnels de la santé.